So this evening, I'm going to start us off with a meditation that I have been enjoying and that I learned from it's called the Marga program through I just blanked out on the name. That is so typical. Natural Dharma. There it is. I have natural compassion written in front of me, so my brain. Natural Dharma folks. And so I want to give you a little bit of information to start. This practice is about creating what they call a caring field. And what they mean by a field is meaning sort of just this whole experience of a spaciousness around you, whatever that would mean for you, of one or two or many either people or teachers or a place or location that maybe makes you feel happy, good, cared for, okay? So I'll walk you through how we will be creating this caring field. But if at any point you feel like this is not resonating for you, please, it's fine to just shut down and focus on whatever it is that you would like to focus on. It can be, the sensations of your feet or breathing. And if you find that you cannot come up with anyone or any place or anything, you're not weird. That's okay. That's normal. It's okay. There's no wrong way of doing any of this, all right? Okay. All right, so we're going to start by finding that comfortable position, just letting the body guide you into how does the body want to be, how does the body want to rest. Remembering it's a balance between being awake and comfortable. So however you would like to have your eyes, and if you feel more comfortable in this particular practice, keeping them open, that's fine. Maybe find some spot in front of you to just rest your gaze, or eyes closed. And we're going to begin with 3 deep, relaxing breaths, just as a way to drop back down out of thinking mind and into the feeling body. Breathing in, long, deep inhale, feeling the belly expand. And then releasing on the exhale at whatever pace works best for you. Settling down into the body. Just as if you were relaxing into an armchair at home. Maybe another long, deep inhale. And releasing, relaxing. Coming home to the body. And if you feel like you'd like to, one more long, deep inhale. And letting go. Feeling into the stability and the groundedness of this body. this vehicle for your awakening. Taking a moment to ask yourself, how am I right now? Feeling into the answer that comes to you, whatever it is, no judgment. And with whatever you notice about how you are right now, letting yourself relax just into the feeling of the body, breathing. Relaxing into the flow of the breath as it flows into the body and as it flows out of the body. For a few minutes, just see how much you can really just be a body breathing. Now, bring to mind what we're going to call a caring field. And this could be a person, a non-human being, a spiritual figure that you felt connected to in your life. A spirit of some kind that you've had a relationship with, a friend or a family member, teacher or guide. It could be a non-human being or even a place in the natural world or some other place where you felt just at ease as you are. Just see who shows up for you when you invite this caring field to come into view. And visualize this being or beings in the space in front of you. Remember, it's absolutely fine if nobody comes to mind or nothing comes to mind. That's fine. The invitation is just to put the invitation out and see who or what arises. Don't worry if it doesn't seem like the very perfect person or being, but trust that whatever or whoever shows up is the right field for you right now. And when you visualize these beings in front of you, you might visualize them as bodies of light, radiant, multicolored light. And if it's a place, the place is radiant with energy, with light all around you. And imagine that the being or beings that have come into your field today are gazing at you. They're gazing at you with love. They're seeing you and appreciating you for just who you are. And imagine, too, that there's a sense of radiant energy that is streaming from these beings, from their bodies, from their eyes, streaming towards you. Like a warm ray of sunlight radiating towards you, dissolving into all the cells of your body. Allow yourself to receive this radiant stream of energy just in the same way that you would if you were standing outside under the light and warmth of the sun. Every part of you loved in its essence. See how much you can relax into this flow of radiant energy. This warmth, this care and love that is streaming towards you. And if there's a part of you that wants to resist receiving that love, see if you can allow that radiant energy to be received right into that part, the resisting part. Allowing this energy to infuse your whole being, to infuse your thoughts, to infuse your emotions, receiving into all those thoughts and emotions, all those feelings. every part of you loved in its very being. When you notice your mind is wandering, see if you can just freshly recall the caring field and let its loving power draw you back into it, settling and relaxing back into that flow of warmth. Just relax as deeply as you can into that felt sense of love, of warmth, of acceptance. Allow this to help your heart mind to trust, to release all of its frameworks of thought, belief, allowing the heart, mind to fall completely open. Allowing even the visualization of the field to dissolve into light. Letting go of any patterns of thought or feeling. Letting those unwind and release you within this vast openness, spaciousness of your own awareness, space of warmth. Letting everything just be. Thank you all. The title that I gave this talk tonight is how I'm going to start this talk. And I don't know, it's, we might want to argue with it, and that's pretty much the whole point of the talk, is how much are we arguing with these thoughts and ideas and ways of being in the world. So things cannot be different than they are right now. Though we often really, really want them to be. We want things to be different so that we can feel better in some way. And these desires can be smallish, or they can be worldwide. And of course, the Buddha taught nothing is to be clung to as I, me, or mine. But this is actually a message of joy, an invitation to be content no matter what is occurring. And we lose this understanding sometimes. It's freedom in the ordinary. We're invited to let go of the attachments that keep us locked in a small world, to find contentment in living this life just as it is, to let go of everything feeling so personal. It's the clinging. Clinging causes us the most suffering. It doesn't matter what the object of the clinging is. It can be small, like wanting a cookie right now and not having to wait until it's time to get one, and feeling distracted by thoughts of wanting a cookie instead of just being here in this room as it is. Or it can feel really important, like wanting the world to be more kind, wanting bombs to stop falling, wanting people to get along. But the clinging in these examples is exactly the same. There is no difference. Clinging is clinging. It's through our stories about the clinging that makes them feel different. The compassionate wish or the desire for an object may be different, but not the clinging to that wish. We might think, it doesn't matter that much if I want a cookie. But wanting the bombs to stop matters so much. Allowing the clinging to one thing allows the clinging to all things. If I don't work on letting go of wanting the cookie, I'll never be able to be free of the suffering that goes along with clinging. So what do I mean by clinging? And how is it different than the object or the compassionate wish? There is care and wholesomeness in the wish for peace, the wish for kindness, and the wish for love. But when we hold on to the wish, when we tighten around it, when we cannot be okay if that wish does not come true, the wholesomeness gets consumed by the stickiness of desire. We argue with reality. We want so much for our wish to be true that we become entangled, stuck, and cannot see clearly. And we may fall into hopelessness, or despair, or anger, or judging. And we're not able to be compassionate from a place of clinging. It's not actually compassion anymore. So the stickiness happens in lesser and greater degrees, depending on what thought we're believing at the time. The stickiness of wanting a cookie doesn't feel as bad, so we don't pay much attention to it. But this wanting continues to water the seeds of clinging. The only difference is the stickiness of the clinging of a cookie and bombs, as I said already, is our story that they are different. Remember, it's not the actual cookie or bomb we're talking about here, but our belief about them. We're talking about the clinging to the story, not the actual object. As Byron Katie says, we're not saying it's not happening. We're just working with the suffering. So how do we tell the difference between a wholesome wish and when we're clinging to that wish? The body. Take a moment and think of a time when you wish someone well just because. How did that feel in the body? Now think of a time you wish someone well and wanted so much that they be okay. And notice how this feels. The sensations in the body help guide us in our awareness more than thinking ever could. And clinging to our desires gives the mind the false sense that it's doing something about what we want to happen or not happen. We may tell ourselves, I can't be okay while this is happening. If I'm suffering, it means I'm not doing nothing about this, right? Can you see how clinging to a wish, even a wholesome wish for well-being of someone else, is actually about selfing? I can't be okay if this is happening. When we cling, it becomes about me, how I feel, what I want. Does it actually benefit you or anyone else to not be okay? We can experience the emotions of pain, of course, and we can still be okay. Not consumed and worn down. In this state, we can respond with wise compassion to what is true. To be free of clinging of everything is nirvana. To be truly awake. In this state of being completely awake, there's still pain. There is still pain about bombs because there's still love for those who are being bombed and those doing the bombing. hearts to witness these horrors. And we can feel helpless to do anything to change the situation. We don't want to feel helpless. So we choose suffering instead. But often, in reality, we are helpless to do something that will change how things are in this moment. Now, is there another option between helplessness and suffering? Some might say numbness. The teachings of the Buddha are not meant to make us numb. They are meant to wake us up to what is true. In this state of being awake, the truth of accepting what is and loving it all, every bit of it, emerges. Does this mean that we don't care about the pain of others or our own pain? No. It means we just see it for what it is through the eyes of compassion. And then a wise, compassionate response has the space to respond. There are many, many teachings from the Buddha, all pointing fundamentally to this acceptance of what is and letting go of clinging. The Four Noble Truths, which include the path leading to this truth of being without clinging, leads us to what's already here within us. This truth cannot be different than it is right now. So all that remains is loving what is. This does not mean things cannot be different in the next moment. We have agency. We have choices. How we respond to this moment will inform what may happen in the next. As a matter of fact, we're likely to be much more effective in taking wise action when we are not so caught in our own desires for things to be different than they are. Letting go of the stories of how things should be, we can work with how they are. Accepting the way things are, we let them be as they are. Anand Thubten, in his book, Choosing Compassion, describes letting be as not trying to force things, even awakening. He says, when we let be, all experiences are the same. We no longer have preferences. Can you imagine not having preferences? And without preferences, we no longer have fear and expectations. Radical, isn't it? Hard to imagine. But, why is it so hard to imagine? Upton poses this question: what is the resistance to inner freedom? Because having no preferences is inner freedom. Why is it so hard to stop arguing with the world and accept that things are as they are in this moment? And I want to be sure to say that acceptance does not mean approving of things, as they are and living without agency and care for self. It just means acknowledging things as they really are in this moment. Upton offers this as an answer to his question about the resistance. When we look inside, we often find a deep-seated desire to have complete control over our life. This ingrained impulse governs our everyday life and our relationship with the world. We want certainty. We would rather cling to our desires and believe we have control over our lives than let go of the clinging and let things be as they are. This mind does not like uncertainty. When I travel, I want to know where I'm staying and what restaurants are nearby. I'm a planner, and I like to know what to expect. Deep bows to you free spirits out there who can just take off and see what happens. But sitting with uncertainty can feel hugely challenging for many of us. And we're sitting with that in so many ways right now. If you remember the Buddhist parable about the two arrows, the first arrow is the pain of things as they are, and the second arrow is what we add to that existing pain through our thoughts and stories, the suffering. Feels like a whole lot of arrows flying around at the moment globally. It can be difficult to have a moment to discern which arrow is which. Please, just one moment of not being shot with an arrow of any kind would be great. I have a preference for that. But all the arrows of uncertainty offer the opportunity for teaching and learning. When we sit in that place of uncertainty, the ego mind doesn't know which story to cling to. And without a story to cling to, it doesn't know which identity to cling to. For example, if you or anyone you know has ever had something happening in the body that requires testing to understand what it is, you might understand how challenging that moment of uncertainty can be. The problem is there's no way to settle on a story without all the details. So the mind pivots from one story to another. One story invites the belief that nothing will change, all will return to what has been. And the other is a future with medical appointments, unpleasant procedures, and uncertain outcome. Unsettling because the ease of which we create an identity associated with the future story is removed. I'll say that again. The ease in which we create an identity associated with the future story is removed. These created stories happen so readily, we aren't even aware we're doing it, right? Am I an ordinary healthy person or a sick one? In reality, we can know only what is in this moment, and that is all that is true. of the story of me. This from Anam Thubten. Somehow we're living under the illusion that we can control life. And whenever we feel that we're losing control over our life, we feel anxiety and anger. We're challenged and shaken to our very core. And then he says something that felt meaningful to me. The freedom of letting go of being in charge, letting life itself be in charge, is the highest freedom you can have. He goes on to say, in some moments, the freedom will be the only refuge you have. When everything in life feels so overwhelming, the freedom of letting go, of needing control and letting things be just as they are, with compassion to what emotions arise from this, allows us to rest in being, just being. This is freedom from suffering. Letting go of the illusion of control and of the story of me, perhaps we can let go of fear, anxiety, angst associated with a concept of the loss of me. If there's no me, there's also no them. It is life and no life happening. That's all. Personal to nothing, compassionate to all. Desire to end suffering, but not pain. We can't end pain. It's an impossible desire. We can offer to be present, walk along, love, but wishing to end the existence of pain is like wishing it wasn't cloudy or the wind won't blow. If we always had perfect days, everything would die. No wind, no rain, no clouds, nothing remains. No bugs, nothing survives. No difficulties, nothing is learned. I can't fix the awfulness of pain. The constant challenges of the raw experience living in nature, of which we are not separate. The awfulness of how humans treat one another. The story of life, living, whatever it really is, debated for as long as self-awareness has existed, gets in the way of living. The most basic definition of living is pretty much being. Being what exactly? Who knows? All I can know is inviting the mind to let go of so much efforting to understand, striving to make sense of it all, and trying to make things different allows me to live more fully. Just this. If I'm here now, then I can better perceive what is here now as well. And then I can be with who and what is here now. There's less attachment to me and how things are for me. I can experience you and have less attachment to how things should be for you. The way things are is the only way we can have existence. This is the universe, the physics, the particles, the fields from which we emerged. That's all we can be. We have to have pain, aging, and death because of the Big Bang Theory and everything that came after. The miracle is that we can even experience any of it and be self-aware in the process. Absolutely amazing. Here's a poem called Instructions Before Visiting Earth by James McCrae. In the event that you wake up and find your soul separated from Source and manifest into material form, don't panic. Your condition is only temporary. You've been selected for the opportunity of human incarnation. This 3D simulation is designed to break up the monotony of eternity by giving you a fully immersive experience as a distinct ego identity. Your body will serve as your physical avatar as you navigate a dense and dramatic reality. There'll be many distractions causing you to forget your true nature and origin. You will experience a range of emotions from joy to loneliness to despair. But remember, no matter what trials and traumas you encounter, your soul remains perfectly safe. At times you may feel lost or afraid. This is totally normal. If you ever need guidance, simply slow down your busy mind and bring your awareness to the quiet place inside yourself. On this planet, nothing is permanent. People and things will come and go. You will fall in love and form sentimental attachments, only to lose everything you hold dear. So cling to nothing too tightly, even yourself. And when it's time to let go with grace, for nothing is owned, only borrowed. As you walk among the people on the planet, try to be a good guest. Tread lightly. Remember that you are only visiting. Don't make a mess. Listen more than you speak. Give more than you take. Don't keep your soft heart locked inside a glass cage, protected from wear and tear. You'll never make it out alive, and time passes quickly. So come back with some battle scars and good stories to tell. Once we let go of wanting things to be different, then we're invited to love it, all of it, just as it is. It cannot be different. In order to experience laughter, the conditions required for the body to exist and to perceive something funny are the exact conditions that have to exist to feel sadness. They just are. Think of it this way. If we choose to drive around in cars, some of us will bump into things. Some of those bumps will cause harm. We cannot choose to drive cars without some of us experiencing some really bad bumps. If we take form, some of us will get cancer. It cannot be otherwise. Some of us will have strokes, heart problems, or autoimmune disorders. It cannot be otherwise. If we are to be made up of this stuff that allows us to move, to breathe, to taste, to see, to laugh, That same stuff will also have some things happen that do not support continuation of the body. There's no other way. The universe exists within these rules of physics. I learned recently that the rules of physics actually changed at some point after the Big Bang, which allowed for our existence, if I didn't say that clearly enough. I think that's remarkable. I'm not informed enough to understand all this, but I have learned that there are many quantum fields that make up the universe. And one of those fields changed in such a way so that when energy particles made contact with this field, they could form matter. Before that change, there was only energy and no matter. The Higgs field went rogue. If that didn't happen, the matter of our form, our world, and the universe would not exist. We would not exist. It's wild, isn't it? But we take it all so personally. So much of what we want and don't want as we move around in these containers of matter and energy. Many spiritual teachers invite us to love it all, just as it is. We could not laugh and love without cancer, without heart failure, without the big bumps in life. We could not look to the stars with wonder if we were not made of the very same materials that exist in those stars. And like them, we are impermanent. But wow, we have the ability to see them for a moment, to breathe the night air, to be cranky if it gets a little chilly, to get bored and go inside. All of it. There are actually no unfavorable conditions. But as we've noted, it's very, very hard to allow ourselves to live in this inner freedom. So in the coming months, I will offer talks on the practices of letting go, letting be, being with what arises, and being, to help us in living a more contented life with fewer moments of clinging. And I'll end with a quote from Byron Katie. Through all the density of their suffering, I could see their innocence. I understood all that they couldn't understand. They were unaware that they didn't have to suffer. In their confusion, they really believed that they were victims and that there was no way out. Thank you. Thank you so much.